Hey everyone, and welcome back to another news alert. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and thank you so much for tuning into Boyd News. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. And feel free to support me on Patreon or buy me a coffee. Links are in the description below the video. So I've got a big story to share with you coming out from Ukraine. We have new information just breaking today that Ukraine has begun serial production of one of its domestically made interceptor drones known as Octopus. This is the same drone you see here in the photo that was taken back in the end of October when Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, where the UK announced it would be assisting in the production of this new drone. So take a look at this new report here on your screen. It says Ukraine's new Octopus interceptor drone enters serial production, developed directly by Ukraine's armed forces. The interceptor is tailored to address the evolving threat of low-flying, slow-moving explosive drones that Russia continues to deploy. So we have talked about this Octopus drone. I did a whole report talking about this video here when UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer met with Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, and announced they would help out in the development or production of this Octopus drone. Now, these interceptor drones, if you're not familiar with these, what they're designed to do is to destroy Shahed drones or any type of drones that attack into Ukraine. Also could potentially even take out glide bombs. We have heard some reports that some of these interceptor drones that are being worked on do have capabilities to destroy glide bombs as well. Stick around till the end of this video because I will be talking about that also. We have another news story that we'll share out of Russia. The Russian military plans to largely increase the amount of glide bombs in production this year, according to Ukrainian intelligence. We'll go over that story as well because that's big news. And if these interceptor drones are able to intercept these glide bombs also, that will be widely useful for the military inside of Ukraine and also protect Ukrainian cities. We also have an update out of the Pokrov sector in Ukraine's Donetsk region from Ukraine's top military chief, Oleksandr Syrsky. Apparently they've got plans to counteract the Russian assault onto that city right now, a major transport and rail hub city for the Ukrainians in the Donetsk region in southeastern Ukraine. So let's jump into this. We're going to hop on over to a mainstream news report from United 24 Media. It says Octopus goes serial. Ukraine begins mass output of new Shahed interceptor drone. This is coming out today, November 14th, 2025. You can see the date here. Here's a little image that was released from Ukraine's defense ministry today, showing this Octopus drone here on display. Looks like they got 5 of them here, so you can clearly see what they look like. The information says Ukraine has launched serial production of new domestically developed drone designed to intercept Russian Iranian Shahed type drones. Ukrainian Defense Minister Denis Shmyhal announced in a post on Telegram on November 14th. That's just today. The interceptor, known as Octopus, is a Ukrainian technology created by the armed forces and already proven in combat. According to Shmyhal, the system is capable of operating at night under heavy electronic jamming and at low altitudes, conditions typical of Russian Shahed attacks. So far we're hearing really good things about this Octopus drone. We know that a lot of drones are taking the lives of people inside of Ukraine. Just overnight, the capital of Kyiv was heavily attacked. Many of these drones slammed into residential buildings. So the more they produce of these, the more they're going to be able to take out a lot of these drones that are incoming into Ukrainian cities. So good to hear that it's entering serial production. Finally, it says here, the first 3 Ukrainian manufacturers have already received the technology, while another 11 companies are preparing production lines. It says, quote, "We are launching interceptors into serial production so they can begin protecting Ukraine's sky as quickly as possible," Shmyhal said. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry is continuing its policy of open collaboration with domestic defense companies, aiming to accelerate the path from battlefield innovation to mass-produced systems that strengthen Ukraine's ability to defend against Russian attacks. Previously, it was reported that Ukraine and the United Kingdom have signed an agreement to co-produce thousands of Octopus 100 interceptor drones under the Build with Ukraine initiative. The deal marks the first serial production of a Ukrainian combat drone within a NATO country, signaling a new stage in defense industrial cooperation between Kyiv and London. So again, great to hear, and also shout out to UK for helping out to Ukraine with building these interceptor drones to help them defend their skies. And hopefully in the near future, they'll start having hundreds or thousands of these they can deploy to take down incoming drones inside of Ukraine coming from Russia. So now we're going to talk about these glide bombs, okay? Since we're talking about these interceptor drones, think it's important to talk about this as well. This is a report on Yahoo News citing Reuters today. This is an exclusive report on Reuters that says Russia plans to make up to 120,000 glide bombs this year, Ukrainian intelligence says. So I'm assuming they're talking about 2025. Now, when I did the math on that, 120,000 glide bombs divided by 365 days, that's approximately, I think, 328 of these they could fire per day. So if you think about that, guys, 300 glide bombs every single day slamming into targets inside of Ukraine. This is obviously a very big problem because these things are very cheap for the Russians to produce. Right now, they're currently hard to shoot down. Now, if these interceptors are able to take them out, this could be very big and could start to end the atrocity of these glide bombs slamming into targets inside of Ukraine. So this also coming out today, Friday, November 14th, 2025. And it says here, Russia plans to manufacture up to 120,000 of its cheap and devastating glide bombs this year, a senior Ukrainian intelligence official said, including 500 of a new, longer-range version which can now reach more towns and cities. Russia has ramped up arms production massively since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, with defense plants operating around the clock. It does not disclose the details of military output, which are classified as secret. Reuters was unable to verify the 2025 target, which Major General Vadim Skibitsky, deputy head of Ukraine's defense intelligence, disclosed in an interview. He did not say how he had obtained the figure or give earlier data, but it would indicate a vast increase in the manufacture of glide bombs, which use wings and sometimes engines to fly dozens of kilometers to their targets. The 120,000 number includes new munitions and existing bombs upgraded to glide. Skibitsky said Russian forces are firing between 200 and 250 glide bombs every day. Can you imagine that? Last month, the daily average was about 170, according to data from the Defense Ministry. And it says, quote, "It is possible to shoot them down, but the quantity of these aerial bombs produced in the Russian Federation is enormous," Skibitsky said. "This is a threat that will require us to respond appropriately." Yeah, so how do they really take all these out? I mean, these interceptor drones, if they can produce enough of them, that's a lot of targets that have to be destroyed. Not only is it glide bombs slamming into Ukraine, but also drones as well. You know, we're probably looking at 300 or more projectiles going into Ukraine every single day. So they're going to need a lot of these interceptor drones just to be able to combat many of these munitions that are being used on the Ukrainian forces on the ground. So there is more information here on this article. I will cite it down below if you guys want to read more about this. Just wanted to share this information talking about the expansion of production of glide bombs inside of Russia. So this is not going to be good for Ukraine. That's probably also why they're starting to push into serial production with these interceptor drones, right? Because they got to start getting prepared for all these glide bombs if these can possibly take these down. So they're going to have a lot of problems here in the near future. Now, finally, one last thing to share with you guys. We're going to hop on over to X and we're going to talk about Oleksandr Syrsky, the commander of Ukraine's armed forces. This one's from Max 25. It says, Syrsky, measures have been developed against Russian plans for Pokrovsk and Murnarat. The commander held a meeting with commanders in the Pokrovsk and Oshertine directions, in particular, directly in the Pokrovsk-Murnarat agglomeration area. Okay, so not a whole lot of information on this, but just want to give you a quick update on Pokrovsk, as we have been talking about this area for several weeks now. The Russians are starting to push into the city of Pokrovsk and also the city of Murnarat, and there's been some reports on the Russian side where they're saying that they're starting to encircle Ukrainian troops over there. This is a major transport and rail hub city for the Ukrainians, and we keep hearing in the recent past that if this city falls, there's a big possibility the Donbass region could start to collapse very quickly, especially the Donetsk Oblast, where the Pokrovsk city is located. We'll have to see what's going to happen, but Ukrainian forces are still fighting back. They've been launching special operation forces over there as well to try to push the Russians out of the city. But now what we're hearing from Oleksandr Syrsky is that apparently they have taken some measures. They will be implementing some sort of maneuvers here to try to force the Russians out. We'll have to see what that's going to be, but that's what he announced today. They will be doing something here very soon. They've got a plan B on how to resolve this situation in Pokrovsk. So I'm not sure if they're going to pull out of there sometime soon. There's a lot of reports that it may fall to the Russians sometime in the coming days or weeks. Or are they preparing some sort of offensive actions to retake the city? We'll have to see what they plan to do. But I will closely monitor that story there. If we get some updates, I'll let you guys know. But guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in for today's update on November 14th, 2025. Hope you guys all have a great day out there. Let me know what you think about all these details down below in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.